Hi, we're going to study the 100 questions and answers for the naturalization test, and we're going to do all 100 questions and answers. First, we're going to start with numbers. How many amendments does the Constitution have? How many amendments does the Constitution have? The Constitution has 27 amendments. 27. We elect a U.S. representative for how many years? We elect a U.S. representative for how many years? 2. We elect a U.S. representative for 2 years. How many justices are on the Supreme Court? How many justices are on the Supreme Court? 9. There are 9 justices on the Supreme Court. We elect a president for how many years? We elect a president for how many years? 4. We elect a president for 4 years. We elect a U.S. senator for how many years? We elect a U.S. senator for how many years? 6. We elect a U.S. senator for 6 years. The U.S. House of Representatives has how many voting members? The U.S. House of Representatives has how many voting members? 435. The U.S. House of Representatives has 435 voting members. How many U.S. senators are there? How many U.S. senators are there? 100. There are 100 U.S. senators. All right, let's move on to dates. What is the last day you can send in federal income tax returns? What is the last day you can send in federal income tax returns? April 15th. April 15th is the last day you can send in federal income tax returns. In what month do we vote for president? In what month do we vote for president? November. We vote for president in November. When do we celebrate Independence Day? When do we celebrate Independence Day? July 4th. We celebrate Independence Day on July 4th. This is also known as the 4th of July. When was the Constitution written? When was the Constitution written? 1787. The Constitution was written in 1787. When was the Declaration of Independence adopted? When was the Declaration of Independence adopted? July 4th, 1776. The Declaration of Independence was adopted on July 4th, 1776. Let's talk about parts of the government. Who vetoes bills? Who vetoes bills? The President. The President vetoes bills. Who signs bills to become laws? Who signs bills to become laws? The President. The President signs bills to become laws. What are the 2 major political parties of the United States? What are the 2 major political parties of the United States? Democratic and Republican. Democratic and Republican are the 2 major political parties of the United States. What stops one branch of the government from becoming too powerful? What stops one branch of the government from becoming too powerful? The answer is checks and balances. Checks and balances, also known as separation of powers. Who does a U.S. Senator represent? Who does a U.S. Senator represent? The answer is all people of the state. All people of the state. What are two cabinet level positions? What are two cabinet level positions? I like to remember Vice President and Attorney General. Vice President and Attorney General. But you can also say Secretary of Agriculture, Secretary of Commerce, Secretary of Defense, Secretary of Education, Secretary of Energy, Secretary of Health and Human Services, Secretary of Homeland Security, Secretary of Housing and Urban Development, Secretary of the Interior, Secretary of Labor, Secretary of State, Secretary of Transportation, Secretary of the Treasury, Secretary of Veterans Affairs. These are all cabinet level positions. You just have to remember two. I like to remember Vice President and Attorney General. Under our Constitution, some powers belong to the federal government. What is one power of the federal government? Under our Constitution, some powers belong to the federal government. What is one power of the federal government? The federal government has the power to print money, to declare war, to create an army, and to make treaties. You just have to remember one of these powers for the test. I like to remember that the federal government has the power to print money. The federal government has the power to print money. What are two parts of the U.S. Congress? What are two parts of the U.S. Congress? The Senate and House of Representatives. The Senate and House of Representatives are the two parts of the U.S. Congress. If the president can no longer serve, who becomes president? If the president can no longer serve, who becomes president? The vice president. The vice president becomes president if the president can no longer serve. Who is commander-in-chief of the military? Who is commander-in-chief of the military? The president. The president is the commander-in-chief of the military. Why do some states have more representatives than other states? Why do some states have more representatives than other states? Because of the state's population. Because they have more people. The answer is because of the state's population. Under our Constitution, some powers belong to the states. What is one power of the states? Under our Constitution, some powers belong to the states. What is one power of the states? One power of the states is to provide schooling and education. To provide schooling and education. The states also have the power to provide protection, provide safety, and to give a driver's license. Name one branch or part of the government. Name one branch or part of the government. The government has three parts. Congress, which is known as the legislative branch. The president and the executive branch. The courts, which are known as the judicial branch. For the test, you can remember Congress. Name one branch or part of the government. Congress. What is the political party of the president now? What is the political party of the president now? Republican Party. The Republican Party is the party of the president now. Who makes federal laws? Who makes federal laws? The answer is Congress. Congress makes federal laws. Congress. What is the economic system in the United States? What is the economic system in the United States? The economic system of the United States is a capitalist economy. Capitalist economy is the economic system of the United States. What does the President's Cabinet do? What does the President's Cabinet do? Advises the President. The Cabinet advises the President. Who is in charge of the executive branch? Who is in charge of the executive branch? The President. The President is in charge of the executive branch. If both the President and the Vice President can no longer serve, who becomes the President? If both the President and the Vice President can no longer serve, who becomes President? The Speaker of the House. The Speaker of the House becomes President if both the President and the Vice President can no longer serve. What is the highest court in the United States? What is the highest court in the United States? The Supreme Court. The Supreme Court is the highest court in the United States. What does the judicial branch do? What does the judicial branch do? The judicial branch is the courts, and the judicial branch reviews the laws, explains the laws, resolves disputes, and decides if a law goes against the Constitution. For the naturalization test, you can just remember that the judicial branch reviews laws. Let's talk about geography. Name one U.S. territory. Name one U.S. territory. Puerto Rico is one U.S. territory. Puerto Rico is one U.S. territory. Name one of the two longest rivers in the United States. Name one of the two longest rivers in the United States. The two longest rivers in the United States are the Mississippi River and the Missouri River. For the test, you can just remember Mississippi. The Mississippi River is one of the two longest rivers in the United States, the Mississippi. What ocean is on the east coast of the United States? What ocean is on the east coast of the United States? The Atlantic Ocean is on the east coast of the United States. The Atlantic Ocean is on the east coast of the United States. Why does the flag have 13 stripes? Why does the flag have 13 stripes? Because there were 13 original colonies, and the stripes represent the original colonies. The answer is because there were 13 original colonies. Why does the flag have 50 stars? Why does the flag have 50 stars? because there are 50 states, and there's 1 star for each state. The answer is because there are 50 states, and each star represents one of the 50 states. What is the capital of the United States? What is the capital of the United States? Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C. is the capital of the United States. Washington, D.C. There were 13 original states. Name 3. There were 13 original states. Name 3. I like to remember New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania. New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania. There was also New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut, Delaware, Maryland, Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia. Name 1 state that borders Canada. Name 1 state that borders Canada. In the United States, there are lots of states that border Canada. I like to remember New York. New York is 1 state that borders Canada. New York. Other states that border Canada are Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Michigan, Minnesota, North Dakota, Montana, Idaho, Washington, and Alaska. But for the naturalization test, you only have to remember 1 state that borders Canada. I like to remember New York, which is where Niagara Falls is. New York. What territory did the United States buy from France in 1803? What territory did the United States buy from France in 1803? The answer is the Louisiana Territory. The Louisiana Territory. What ocean is on the west coast of the United States? What ocean is on the west coast of the United States? The Pacific Ocean. The Pacific Ocean is on the west coast of the United States. Where is the Statue of Liberty? Where is the Statue of Liberty? New York. The Statue of Liberty is in New York. Name 1 state that borders Mexico. Name 1 state that borders Mexico. There are several states that border Mexico. Arizona is 1 state that borders Mexico. Other states that border Mexico are California, Texas, and New Mexico. You can say any of these states for the naturalization test. Let's talk about some important documents. What did the Declaration of Independence do? What did the Declaration of Independence do? Declared our independence from Great Britain. The Declaration of Independence declared our independence from Great Britain. There are 4 amendments to the Constitution about who can vote. Describe one of them. There are 4 amendments to the Constitution about who can vote. Describe one of them. Citizens 18 and older can vote. Citizens 18 and older can vote. What is an amendment? What is an amendment? The answer is an amendment is a change to the Constitution. A change to the Constitution. What does the Constitution do? What does the Constitution do? The Constitution sets up the government. Sets up the government. The Constitution sets up the government. What do we call the first 10 amendments to the Constitution? What do we call the first 10 amendments to the Constitution? The Bill of Rights. We call the first 10 amendments to the Constitution the Bill of Rights. The Bill of Rights. What happened at the Constitutional Convention? What happened at the Constitutional Convention? The Constitution was written at the Constitutional Convention. The Constitution was written. What is one right or freedom of the First Amendment? What is one right or freedom of the First Amendment? One right of the First Amendment is the freedom of speech. The freedom of speech. Other rights or freedoms of the First Amendment are the freedom of religion, the freedom of assembly, the freedom of press, and the right to petition the government. But I like to remember that one right or freedom from the First Amendment is the freedom of speech. The freedom of speech. What is the supreme law of the land? What is the supreme law of the land? The Constitution. The Constitution is the supreme law of the land. What is the name of the national anthem? What is the name of the national anthem? The Star-Spangled Banner is the name of the national anthem. The Star-Spangled Banner is the name of the national anthem. What are two rights in the Declaration of Independence? What are two rights in the Declaration of Independence? Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness are in the Declaration of Independence. For the naturalization exam, you can just say life and liberty. Life and liberty. The idea of self-government is in the first three words of the Constitution. What are these three words? The idea of self-government is in the first three words of the Constitution. What are these words? We the people. We the people are the first three words of the Constitution. We the people. Let's talk about rights and responsibilities of people in the United States. When must all men register for the Selective Service? When must all men register for the Selective Service? At the age of 18. At the age of 18, all men must register for the Selective Service between the ages of 18 and 26. What is freedom of religion? What is freedom of religion? Freedom of religion means you can practice any religion or not practice a religion. You can practice any religion or not practice a religion. What is the rule of law? What is the rule of law? Everyone must follow the law. No one is above the law. Everyone must follow the law. What are two ways Americans can participate in their democracy? What are two ways Americans can participate in their democracy? Vote and join a political party. Americans can vote and join a political party. These are two ways we can participate in our democracy. How old do citizens have to be to vote for president? How old do citizens have to be to vote for president? 18 and older. 18 and older. What are two rights of everyone living in the United States? What are two rights of everyone living in the United States? I like to remember freedom of speech and freedom of religion. Freedom of speech and freedom of religion are two rights of everyone living in the United States. Name one right only for U.S. citizens. Name one right for only U.S. citizens. Vote in a federal election. Vote in a federal election is one right only for U.S. citizens. What is one responsibility that is only for U.S. citizens? What is one responsibility that is only for U.S. citizens? Vote in a federal election is one responsibility only for U.S. citizens. Another responsibility for U.S. citizens is to serve on a jury. I like to remember, vote in a federal election is one responsibility for only U.S. citizens. What do we show allegiance to when we say the Pledge of Allegiance? What do we show allegiance to when we say the Pledge of Allegiance? The United States. When we say the Pledge of Allegiance, we show loyalty to the United States. What is one promise you make when you become a U.S. citizen? What is one promise you make when you become a U.S. citizen? Obey the laws of the United States. Obey the laws of the United States. When you become a U.S. citizen, you promise to obey the laws of the United States. Let's talk about some questions that have to do with locations. Who is the governor of your state now? Who is the governor of your state now? To find the governor of your state now, you can look on the internet at www.usa.gov/state-governor. What is the capital of your state? What is the capital of your state? You can look online and find a list of all the capitals of the states. Who is one of your state's U.S. senators now? Who is one of your state's U.S. senators now? You can look online at www.senate.gov. Name your U.S. representative. Name your U.S. representative. To find your U.S. representative, go on the internet, type in www.house.gov, and then type in your zip code and address on the website. Let's talk about wars and famous events. What did the Emancipation Proclamation do? What did the Emancipation Proclamation do? Freed the slaves. The Emancipation Proclamation was signed by Abraham Lincoln and freed the slaves. What major event happened on September 11th, 2001 in the United States? What major event happened on September 11th, 2001 in the United States? The answer is terrorists attacked the United States. Terrorists attacked the United States. Who did the United States fight in World War II? Who did the United States fight in World War II? Japan, Germany, and Italy. The United States fought Japan, Germany, and Italy in World War II. During the Cold War, what was the main concern of the United States? During the Cold War, what was the main concern of the United States? Communism. Communism was the main concern of the United States during the Cold War. Name one war fought by the United States in the 1800s. Name one war fought by the United States in the 1800s. I like to remember the Civil War. The Civil War. Name two national U.S. holidays. Name two national U.S. holidays. I like to remember Thanksgiving and Christmas. Thanksgiving and Christmas are holidays in the United States. What movement tried to end racial discrimination? What movement tried to end racial discrimination? Civil rights. The answer is the civil rights movement tried to end racial discrimination. Name one war fought by the United States in the 1900s. Name one war fought by the United States in the 1900s. I like to remember World War II. World War II was one war fought by the United States in the 1900s. Name one problem that led to the Civil War. Name one problem that led to the Civil War. One problem, slavery. Slavery was one problem that led to the Civil War. Name the U.S. war between the North and the South. Name the U.S. war between the North and the South. The Civil War. The Civil War was the war between the North and the South. Why did the colonists fight the British? Why did the colonists fight the British? Because of high taxes, known as taxation without representation. Because of high taxes. What is one reason colonists came to America? What is one reason colonists came to America? Freedom. One reason colonists came to America was freedom. Let's talk about people. What is the name of the Vice President right now? What is the name of the Vice President now? J.D. Vance. The Vice President of the United States is J.D. Vance. Name one American Indian tribe in the United States. Name one American Indian tribe in the United States. Here is a list of several American Indian tribes in the United States. I like to remember Cherokee. Cherokee. Who is the Chief Justice of the United States now? Who is the Chief Justice of the United States now? John Roberts. John Roberts is the Chief Justice of the United States now. What is the name of the President of the United States now? What is the name of the President of the United States now? Donald Trump. The President of the United States is Donald Trump. Who is the father of our country? Who is the father of our country? George Washington. George Washington is known as the father of our country. Who was president during World War I? Who was president during World War I? Woodrow Wilson. Woodrow Wilson was president during World War I. Woodrow Wilson. Who was the first president? Who was the first president? George Washington. George Washington was the first president. Who was the president during the Great Depression and World War II? Who was the president during the Great Depression and World War II? Franklin Roosevelt. Franklin Roosevelt was the president during the Great Depression and World War II. Franklin Roosevelt. What was one important thing that Abraham Lincoln did? What was one important thing that Abraham Lincoln did? Freed the slaves. Abraham Lincoln freed the slaves. What did Susan B. Anthony do? What did Susan B. Anthony do? Fought for women's rights. Susan B. Anthony fought for women's rights. What group of people was taken to America and sold as slaves? What group of people was taken to America and sold as slaves? Africans. The answer is Africans were taken to America and sold as slaves. What is one thing Benjamin Franklin is famous for? What is one thing that Benjamin Franklin is famous for? U.S. diplomat. Benjamin Franklin was famous for being a U.S. diplomat. What did Martin Luther King Jr. do? What did Martin Luther King Jr. do? Martin Luther King Jr. fought for civil rights. Fought for civil rights. Before he was president, Eisenhower was a general. What war was he in? Before Eisenhower was a president, he was a general. What war was he in? World War II. World War II. Eisenhower was a general in World War II. Who wrote the Declaration of Independence? Who wrote the Declaration of Independence? Thomas Jefferson. Thomas Jefferson wrote the Declaration of Independence. What is the name of the Speaker of the House of Representatives now? What is the name of the Speaker of the House of Representatives now? Mike Johnson. Mike Johnson is the Speaker of the House of Representatives now. Who lived in America before the Europeans arrived? Who lived in America before the Europeans arrived? American Indians, also known as Native Americans. American Indians, also known as Native Americans, lived in America before the Europeans arrived. The Federalist Papers supported the passage of the Constitution. Name one of the writers. The Federalist Papers supported the passage of the Constitution. Name one of the writers. I like to remember Alexander Hamilton as one of the writers of the Federalist Papers. Alexander Hamilton was one of the writers of the Federalist Papers. I hope you really enjoyed learning the 100 questions and answers for the naturalization test. Good luck on your journey to become a U.S. citizen.